Welcome to the Grunt Free Press Podcast, a back to normal, highly scripted episode 235. It sounded like there was a war going on last week or something, and not just the usual war that goes on in my head every waking hour of every single goddamn day. Go to www.gruntfreepress.com. Send a tip if you like the live show. Chatterbait tokens are my preferred form of currency. I'm saving up for a dirty pair of Mandy 138's panties. Hopefully they fit me. I will see. Podcast at gruntfreepress.com is the email address if you want to complain about the previous episode. And I don't blame you, but still, I really don't care. So yeah, let's change things up for a bit and talk about MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. That's my career now. I'm a full-time pilot. So, previously I thought it was near the end of the campaign. I mean, I've been playing that game for like 60 hours or so. I had my crew working on hunting down and enacting revenge on the Black Inferno Mercenary squad. The ones responsible for killing my father in the game. That was the whole driving force of the story. That was like the only story thread going on in the game. Very thin, just at the beginning is like the first mission, and somebody killed your father. Build up your fucking crew and avenge him. I'm like, okay, well, that's where I am, so I must be near the end. Take contracts, get money, buy better mechs, kill the Black Inferno and their leader, Yamada, who's, again, it's like the boot up the game, he's on the title screen and his fucking king crab and shit. Hunt his fucking king crab ass down. That's how you know the guy's the real deal. Whether the king crab is the giveaway. I had my reputation level above 10. Like when I first started, I'm like, all right, I'm building this reputation up. It probably maxes out at 10, but you would think so. But oh no, it keeps going from there. I'm at 13 now, I think, and still have more. It's like elite to legendary or something like that. It was like 13 to 14. So I don't know, I might just keep going forever. So I had this campaign mission to go to. They wanted me to go to the Black Inferno's base. And the description of it says like, oh, maybe Yamada's there, maybe he isn't, but if he is, they tell me not to do anything stupid and run away because he's going to be too powerful. And that mission was hard as fuck. Most of the campaign missions are like these crazy difficulty spikes. Just from the mere fact that they're much longer. They take a lot longer to complete, and they're more involved than the standard contracts that you're doing. If you're doing just like the standard, like I'm going to accept these little ones and fucking try to get money and shit. Some of those are hard, but I mean, usually it's just, you do a raid and you're running to a waypoint and fucking blow a few buildings up, fighting with like a small pocket of enemies. Then it's like, all right, extract and get out. It doesn't take long at all. I mean, if they give you like a demolition mission, you just run into the city and they want you to fucking smash it. And you go in there and fucking smash it up and try to get all the fighting in there to make all the fucking like rockets that are fired. You hit the city too and destroy it as fast as possible. It's all like most of the missions, they want you to go fast. Like the faster you go, the fucking better it is, really. So you have like the defense missions where you just pretty much just sit in one spot and just walk around and fucking wait and kill everything that comes at you until it's like, all right, mission over, and you leave. So on and so forth. They're all very get in and get out, and that's it. Again, like ideally the idea is you want to do them as fast as possible to avoid taking damage to your mechs, and just all right, just do the mission, get the fuck out, and good job, here's money, hopefully. So the campaign missions are usually they're like hybrids of all those different types of like the contracts you would do. So you never really know what you're walking into, like how long you'll have to last. Like just like the attrition of it. I'm just gonna keep going on and on. I'm gonna keep fucking getting fucked up. You don't know what you're in for until you just go and try them. You're probably going to fail them a few times and just kind of like maybe like go back and like readjust your lance a little bit, try going in there with different mechs, and then try and fail a couple more times. And then hopefully eventually you get past it with your mech's fucking torn to shit, and you have to go back to like grinding out contracts and make up for the repairs that you suffered. Like there's just like, I'm like, all right, it'd be like if it was a contract mission where it was just fucked up, I'd restart it or like quit it just because I'm like, this is like a fucking, I might have done the mission, but it's pretty much a failure because all my mechs are just fucking have no limbs and shit. But so yeah, I just have to get through this. It's a campaign mission. Once again, those difficulty numbers that they give you for like any of the missions that you do don't really amount to jack shit. Like you never know like how fucking hard the mission's gonna be by looking at the number. This campaign mission I was on I was in the orange. They do like green to red or whatever, and the orange is in the middle. So they got like this orange one I was on. It's like difficulty 60 something. And meanwhile, if I could just go off and do these red contracts and like the 60s or the 70s for difficulty, and just get those done with a little effort, like not much. I was like, I just kind of went in and did my thing, and I might lose like a weapon or two, but I can just fucking get it done. Once you reach like a certain point in the difficulty where it's supposed to be getting hard, they max you out on like what you can bring in, like your tonnage limit. So it's like, all right, you do like a red mission, red difficulty, and it's like, well, you can just bring in 400 tons, and that's the most. I mean, that's 4 100-ton mechs you can bring in there. I'm pretty sure that's as high as it goes. I don't think there's anything heavier than that. So, you have like 400-ton mechs, and it's like, all right, well, that's what's in the game. Like that's what you can do. So you're bringing your best shit in. There's no really way to like fiddle or like pussyfoot around. Like, well, I can bring 3 mechs that are 300 pounds rather than whatever. You know what I mean? What I was doing before of like fiddling around with like, oh, I'll bring less fucking people, but bring heavier mechs. It's like, no, you just like you're bringing 4 like four of the heaviest mechs. Like that's what you're doing. But the campaign mission I was on is like the drop limit was like 340 tons or something like that. So I'm like, well, so if I bring in like three of my best ones, it's like I don't have a 40-ton mech lying around anymore. Like I can just fucking throw in there to max it out. I don't have like a fucking locust in my hangar or something like that. And even if I did, like it would just, I wouldn't bring it. Like it just fucking immediately fucking disintegrate as soon as anybody got a shot off on it. So, I tried doing it. I'm like, oh, I'll just bring like 3 mechs in, like 3 of my top tier, top shelf, fucking aged mechs. And I had like 2 Atluses and a king crab or something like that. But I mean, the shit they expect you to do, like first you're essentially doing like a raid where you get dropped off, there's climb up a hill, and it's like, there's fucking VTOLs and tanks and turrets and a few enemy mechs and shit. It's like, all right, this isn't too bad. It's just fucking, just a little pocket of fucking enemies I gotta deal with. That's okay. I mean, you're trying to use like advantage of the hill and use that as like cover and use long range missiles to soften everything up that you can like get, that you can like target and shit from as far away as possible. And then it's like, all right, then after that, just kind of go in and like finish them off and destroy the buildings they want you to do. I guess like a raid and a fucking like demolition type thing. Just go in, they just destroy this fucking city or whatever. It's like, all right, just take care of the enemies. There aren't that many of them. Go in, fucking smash that up and go to the next thing. But sorry, so we have for fucking drinking a milkshake before recording. I have nice fucking dairy throat, which sounds disgusting, I'm sure. Some water will wash that away. Wash away the fucking gravel. Probably not. Probably throat cancer at this point. So you do that. You fucking destroy the fucking buildings, and then they make you do almost the exact same thing again. Only this time, 3 heavy mechs drop in as you fucking destroying the city. I think it's like an awesome mech. It's called an awesome, like a rifleman and a cicada, and they all have shit that's gonna fucking nail you from long. Those are all fucking like long range mechs. So you can't really, it's not like a matter of, I'm just going to hang back and just keep shooting missiles at them. It's like, oh, you can't do that. They're just going to do the same thing to you, and you're going to be fucking taking damage. Like that's like their main, that's like the point of them. So, it's like you got to run in and get in close somehow as fast as possible. So, you destroy that fucking building or whatever they want you to fucking destroy. And chances are your squad is a little fucked up at that point. Just you fucking fought like these 3 pretty heavy mechs and just trying to get to the spots, like just taking some damage. Then there's this huge open field you have to cross, and there's another like steep hill beyond that. And they send in like 3 or 4, here's some fucking LRM carriers that you're going to have to fucking snipe or try to get them with longer range missiles than they have before they start fucking firing rockets at you. It's like, oh, here's some helicopters, a few fucking light mechs running around, getting up on you while you're trying to do that. And there's a catapult that will stop at like the crest of the hill and just he'll fucking start raining shit down on you until you take him out. So it's pretty much like the situation where no matter whatever you want to focus on, you're going to be getting fucked over by something else. So it's just, you got to kind of go with it and pick your battles and fucking hope for the best. Pretty like random whether you're going to get fucking destroyed or not. You focus on the catapult because that thing does do a lot of fucking damage. It's got 2 fucking giant missile launchers on its back, and it's like, well, I don't want him just fucking take him out first, so I'm not going to eat that shit. But you try just like running to him, and like the small mechs will just start running circles around you and like blasting with fucking machine gun fire and shit. and if you let them off, if they'll fucking still eat away at you, even though it's like, oh, these are shitty mechs I could probably fucking kill really quick, but not quick enough that they're not going to do damage if I ignore them. So, and then if like you try to take them on at first, then it's well, I'm just gonna fucking eat like these nonstop missiles coming from that fucking catapult. So that's what they call a catapult again. Is like these two fucking LRM launchers on its shoulders, LRM 20s to be precise. So no, then you climb the fucking hill, and then boom, fucking dropship comes in, and it's not like you can. The easiest thing to do in the game really is to fucking hang back and just long range missile and snipe. Like that's like the safe route to go, but yeah, you're doing these missions, and it's like you can't just do that and like take cover somewhere. It's like it's like a script in the game, like a trigger is once you have to like cross a certain point first, like cross like a line as you're going up that hill, and then like again you're at the end of this fucking mission. You've already gone through all this shit, and then they drop in by far like the deadliest enemies you're facing, like drop it like right on top of you pretty much, including Yamada and his legendary king crab, the deadliest catch of all. Then he's got three other fuckers in mechs with him that I mean they're also no joke. It's like that guy and the king crab is like, oh, there's a lot of damage he's got to be fucking putting out. Obviously, he's the fucking main guy. You would figure that, but then it's like, oh, here's also like these not fucking throwaway, like pretty fucking heavy. It's like, oh, here's like an Atlas or whatever, like some other shit. It's like, well, I can't just completely focus on him because I'm also gonna get fucking railed by these fuckers too. And at this point again, after it's been so long that you're out of ammo for most of your weapons. I mean, there's probably an ammo explosion you fucking suffered somewhere down the line, and your teammates are all sorts of fucked up. They're missing limbs and legs and shit, and they're walking around with no arms, just like sparking and smoking and shit. And it's like, oh no, here's after all that shit, well, here's just like a gaggle of cunts that are going to be spraying like they all like PPCs and fucking AC-20s and large lasers. They're all going to be fucking shooting you in the face. It's like, cool, I'm pretty fucked up now. It's fucking brutal. I kept trying and make sure to use lasers early on to take out like the helicopters and shit and like the turrets. So I have like some ammo left over for the end. I know that shit's coming, and I'm like using cover, like trying to use rocks and hills and shit for cover as much as possible, and closing on the guys with fucking LRMs and shit, and just try not to fucking take too many of those hits. And yeah, I mean, after like four or five attempts at doing like the mission, it's just like I have this pretty much down pat, like memorized. But I was beginning to think that I'm like, oh, maybe this really is like the last campaign mission of the game. I mean, that is fucking, again, like this description's like, oh, Yamada might be there and blah blah blah. Then like they force you to fight him, so it's like, oh, maybe this is gonna be it. The Yamada who keeps fucking murdering me there. So even though I know I've already went to like higher level contracts and like this fucking mission I'm doing, so I know like in the game's logic over they calculate difficulty, like, oh, this is harder shit than this, they think. So, but this is so fucking like hard. I'm just like stuck on it, and like I've never been stuck on anything in this fucking game yet. But it's like, oh yeah, there's higher level contracts. But I've done way higher shit than this, and it hasn't been a problem. So I get by it. I mean, you kill the fucking bad guy, and congratulations. Then everything else is, I'm like, oh, everything else is after just that. This must be the end, and then it's gonna be fucking this harder shit, but it's gonna be like free form, open world, just never ending end game, and you can just fuck around in afterwards. Like that must be what it is. This is so fucking like ridiculously hard, like out of the ordinary hard compared to everything else. I mean, I kept trying it with the 3 mech thing wasn't working out, so I'm like, all right, well, back out. And my best bet was for me to take, I'm like, well, I'll take like two 100-ton mechs, and then I'll like split the difference of what I had left. I think it turned out something like, I'm like, oh, I figured out if I can do like the 200-ton ones, then bring 2 65s in there, and Something like that, which of course I didn't have handy. I didn't have, I'm like, again, I was doing like these harder difficulty missions. I had no reason to keep like the lighter mechs around. So, I had to spend hundreds of thousands of hard-earned credits flying to industrial hub to industrial hub. Then eventually I figured I could bring two. I'm like, all right, well, the cat, like facing that catapult sucked. I'm like, well, the catapult's like a 65-ton max. I'm like, oh, maybe I could buy two of those, and that'd be pretty helpful. You would think, which I normally wouldn't do. Like that doesn't seem very effective, especially I'm playing with the fucking shitty AI in the game, the teammate AI. And if I put them into something that's like, you guys have to like hang back, like the whole point of this mech is you have to be in the background, like fucking like shooting, wearing down like the fucking deadliest targets that you can. I don't really have fucking faith they're going to be able to do that. It's like there's just like exclusively fucking long range missiles is pretty much what the catapult is. But I'm like, all right, I brought those guys. I fucking tried it a couple more times. Eventually, I did it. It fucking nearly bankrupted me. But eventually, it's like, all right, cool. I killed the Armada. My lance is even still like fucking. It's like I did it. Like I was just done. Like my lance was completely fucked up. I'm down to like on my mech. I have like the only thing I have left is like one functioning laser, and that's it. Otherwise, everything's fucking gone. But he's dead, and looking at the mission reward screen, they give you his mech as like a reward, like his fucking, there's like, hey, they gave you the fucking mech from, the title screen and, the legendary fucking king crab, it seems like the fucking final mission to me, like fucking, why else do they give me his fucking mech, you know what I mean? But then after the fucking, like the end mission screen I'm like, all right, well, there's no closing cutscene. There's no credits playing. There's no fireworks, and congratulations, you avenged the death of your father, and legends will tell of your badass mercenary squad's deeds for generations to come, or something like that. And then let's go, okay, go fucking fuck off in the fucking open world shit. Nope, none of that. They just give you the objective of go see the fucking commander bitch on the bridge. So. Rutro, it's like fucking, it's like, oh, it seems like the end of any other mission. So yeah, I go talk to her, and she says something like, I was like, oh, Yamada escaped, but, we managed to uncover this ancient star map with these coordinates and blah, blah, blah. And so now I'm at like these campaign missions that are like outside the map, like the map that you start with. It's like, oh, these secret coordinates we have, that it's more of the map. The map that was overwhelmingly large to fucking begin with. It's like fucking, oh no, there's more. Wait, it's like fucking Jesus Christ. And I kind of half expected that in the back of my mind, like half like, there might be more than this. Like this probably isn't the end, But also the other half of my brain is like, dude, how long is this fucking game? Don't get me wrong, it's a fucking great game. I do certainly enjoy playing it. But yeah, I'm just like in this endless cycle of fucking MechWarrior 5 when I get home. I was like, fucking, I'm going to go home and try to do a fucking couple missions right now. I'm just like failing. I'm at like another campaign mission, just fucking complete failure after, every fucking every time. I'll like do that for a couple hours, then fucking it's like, I'll play some Call of Duty at night, fucking MechWarrior, Call of Duty. I have no problem with that. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm fucking stuck in my little fucking world here. I keep doing this for fucking, I've been doing it for like weeks, but I'm sure you're sick of fucking hearing the same shit, and me reaching to try to find something new to say about the fucking 2 games I've been playing for like a month. Speaking of which, I don't think the playlist rotations in Call of Duty Modern Warfare are working right. Again, I'm a creature of fucking habit. I have my fucking playlist set up for, should be fucking team deathmatch, domination, search and destroy, hardcore again. I'm a fucking not a fruit. And the way it worked, it should rotate between those 3, like the ones you have set. So it's supposed to be like a playlist, like it just rotates. Like these are, we just fucking randomly choose one of these 3 every, after every match. But it seems like unless I back out into the lobby and like restart the search myself, it just gets stuck on one game type. Like it'll just keep feeding me. It's like, all right, the first game is team deathmatch, and then it's like, all right, into another lobby. It doesn't like keep you with the same people in the same lobby every time. It's just it'll find a new lobby, but it's like, all right, you did team deathmatch, and it's like, all right, new lobby. What's this one going to be? Team deathmatch, and then the next one team deathmatch. You'll just keep doing that until you like manually fucking back out and search again yourself. Then it'll be like, you'll find it's like, all right, domination game, and then the next one's domination, the next one's domination. So I don't know what's up with that, but I got my gold scar. That's something new. To get, if you want to get gold weapon skins in the game, you have to complete all the challenges that they give you for that weapon. The majority of them are things you do just by playing the game like you normally would, where so get so many fucking kills, headshots, so on, like that shit. It's just fucking a few of the challenges you have to kind of like plan and work towards, like say like get X amount of kills with no attachments on the gun. So you're basically handicapping yourself as you're playing to try to get the fucking challenges done. And I'm already handicapped, so it's a double handicap for me. Another one is you have to get kills while mounting your gun on like a wall or whatever, or like a surface you can mount the gun on, which is, that's like tactically a good idea to be like mounting your gun, and like gives you extra fucking accuracy and all that shit and a little bit more cover. It's the only way to lean in the game. I mean, I know a lot of first person shooters used to have that, like the lean mechanics. You'd be like Q and E, you could lean left and right and shit. Look at me over here talking like a true keyboard warrior now. But that always seemed kind of like when games did have like the lean thing, that always seemed kind of shitty and cheap to me. It's like you can shoot people with just like, those people who are like leaning around a fucking wall. It's like, they can shoot you with pretty much just like their shoulder, like a pixel of the head you can fucking see, but they can just, they have like full fucking range. But the way it works in Modern Warfare, I mean, you can mount your gun to almost any service that you could think of, like fucking, most walls and shit, boxes, all that shit, you know what I mean? Like fucking anything. It's like, I could kind of like lean out here and do shit. It's like, you can usually do it like trees or whatever. But the way the maps in the game are designed, they have lanes and shortcuts and all these fucking different angles to shoot from. I think like unless you were really coordinated, your setup as you're playing, like where everybody is and working with a team to lock particular areas down at a time and all that shit. Chances are like you mount your weapon, you're kind of like stuck there, and I mean you're more or less camping, which isn't really my thing. Like I'm not a fucking camping prez. It just bores me. I'd rather be fucking running around, whatever. And yeah, anybody who says camping takes no skill clearly hasn't watched me try to do it, because I suck at it. I mean, I'm always like looking down a lane, like waiting. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to stay still and wait. Then I just get fucking shot in the back. Like eventually that's what usually happens. Or I get assassinated, which is always embarrassing. Or what usually happens is, again, because I suck at camping, I'll be staring at like one door or corner and just like, all right, waiting. And then I'm like fucking like, all right, well, it doesn't seem like anybody's it'd coming through here, so maybe it'd be safe to like turn to the left a little bit or the right and like check another fucking like lane or whatever. And like immediately as soon as I turn, as soon as I like shift my focus, I just get somebody will come out of the fucking way that I had been staring at, and I get fucking popped in the face. From the place I just turned away from, like it was planned to embarrass me. I mean, that's how most games go for me anyway. Embarrassment. But yeah, enough about mechs. Let's talk about robots, killer robots. Let's call them Terminators and see if that catches on. Terminator Resistance, which is another first-person shooter based on the Terminator movies, believe it or not. And thankfully, it all takes place during the future war that was shown at the beginning of the first movie. When the machines have more or less wiped out humanity and the remaining survivors are living in underground bunkers. I think that's always been the most interesting part of the Terminator universe for me. And the one I always thought would make for like the best setting for a video game, is fucking why do they make fucking more games just like take place exclusively like in that little fucking like scene there in that fucking like future. All the other fucking Terminator games that I can think of, they tried like following the beats of the movie, where it's like, all right, well, you might get like the first level or two would be like the future, which is smart because that's what fucking hooks you in. Where it's like, fucking start playing a game, Terminator game. It's like, oh yeah, cool. This is like the cool video game part. Is this fucking like future like fighting robots and shit. You're mowing down fucking T-800s left and right and destroying this fucking whatever they are, those big tanks that fucking look like Rob the Robot and fucking the hunter killer drones and all that shit. And then because like, oh well, we want to follow the movies because Terminator and time travel, you'd go to like, all right, well now you get a couple levels in, it's like, well now they transport you to fucking like current day. It's like this is kind of gay. Now this kind of sucks going back to this. So I mean the movies did that for budgetary reasons. Obviously, it's much cheaper and easier to make a couple sets and do like the special effects for like, oh, it's like this crazy fucking future robot war, and then it's like, well, we'll do that for like 5 minutes and then have the rest of the movie take place in fucking LA present day, like every other movie with fucking, sets and shit like that. Plenty of places you can just go and like film in a fucking like parking lot or whatever. Fucking was that one there, Terminator Salvation. Yeah, that movie tried to do that, what everybody wanted to see. And just it's like, oh, dude, this whole movie set in the fucking that future. It's like, oh, cool, this will be awesome. Then it fucking failed miserably. And then they made a fucking PG-13. Yeah, there's some really dumb shit in that fucking movie. That's when I gave up on fucking Terminator movies. I think like Terminator 3 came out, and it's like, that movie wasn't great. Then like Salvation kind of sealed the deal that they didn't know what the fuck to do with this. Like, it's like, oh, here's like, this should be like the high point of the series or whatever, at least something like different and cool. And, but they didn't do it. I think fucking one just, didn't the fucking Terminator movie just come out? I think I heard about it for like 5 minutes and then it fucking disappeared. I don't know, Sarah Connor from that fucking movie was in Gears 5. I actually played as fucking Sarah Connor. I got the fucking DLC. I'm like, oh, cool, Terminator DLC. And Sarah Connor, it's like fucking, she looked more like Hillary Clinton than Sarah Connor, so we called her Hillary Clinton. That's how I know that character. So whatever marketing was going for that fucking totally went over my head. It's just like fucking, now you're like, oh, it came out, was it Terminator Dark Fate or some shit? It was fucking like flash in a pan for 5 seconds, and then pretty sure everybody thought it sucked, and it probably did. And that was the end of that, So I'll see you in the near future. Very, very, very near. All the future of 2020. So yeah, Terminator movies are trying to save money by only having the future shit for a little bit of it, but video games they don't have the same real world location problems as the movies do. So I don't know why most of them ended up in present day. Besides, they must have been trying to be going for, this is what Terminator things do. They go into the fucking present, into the past, into the present day. I think there was a PC game in like the late 90s or early 2000s from Bethesda, which is a very fucking early Bethesda. Might have even been the first game they ever made. It's called like Skynet, I think. And that I think that one was all set in the future, but I never played it at the time, so I don't think I had a fucking computer that could run it at the time. I mean that was I thought about playing that in like recent fucking months or whatever. Like, as I was looking at that, I was like, oh, it looks kind of cool, but the comment was like, oh, it sounds like a cool game. Then you look at it, and it's like, yeah, it looks a little rough now. I was kind of like fucking, like, I'm like, it's around the time I was playing, like, trying to play System Shock or something, where it's like, oh, this game is supposed to be awesome. Then you play it, it's like, this doesn't hold up very well. It looked like one of those types of games. And I think it's one of those ones that's like a nightmare to get running now too on a modern computer, trying to run fucking that Bethesda fucking Terminator game. But I mean, the Terminator games I remember, like, fucking, T2, the arcade game, that was fucking huge. And Terminator on Sega CD, I fucking really like that game. I played that a few years ago. I thought it was still pretty fucking cool. It was Terminator 2 on Super Nintendo, which is awful. That game's terrible. RoboCop versus Terminator on Genesis, and also Terminator Salvation on 360. I remember that one. That game's a fucking abortion. It's one of the worst games of that fucking generation. Terminator, the Salvation game was fucking really fucking bad. Anyway, they could have easily made a game at any time set in the fucking Terminator future, humans versus machines, all out war, but they never really did. Not one that I fucking played anyway. Once again, but until Terminator Resistance. And I'm not going to say fucking Terminator Resistance is amazing or anything, but it does take that concept, man versus machine, and I think it does a pretty decent job of fucking just making an entertaining game out of that. Of like just fucking it's like, I want to make a game set in this fucking future, and we have our references from the movie. Let's just fucking put it together and make something like that. I'm like, God, this is a pretty good job. They did okay. Still just shy of I'm not going to say like, oh, it's the Terminator game we've always wanted, like it's finally here. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's pretty good. It's just fucking, if you're interested in that, if you know what I'm fucking talking about, check it out. It's pretty good. The Terminator game I've always wanted. I shouldn't say we've always wanted. I can't speak for everybody. Maybe people like fucking I remember there was at least one person who liked fucking Terminator Salvation. I remember the fucking the review of that one somewhere, like reading the comments online, like one like kid like defending it, like, no, the game's really good. And it's like, dude, no, it's not. It's really not. Like, it's fucking. There's no way to defend that one. It's bad. But yeah, so anyway, Resistance takes place just before the first Terminator movie. The future in that movie, the beginning of the movie, but it's the future. It gets complicated with all the time travel mumbo jumbo. So, Skynet's taking over. They're steadily advancing and expanding the front line from, I'm assuming, fucking like LA somewhere is where the headquarters were, which is called the Annihilation Line. So just fucking robot soldiers are exterminating everybody or capturing them to experiment on. And, you've witnessed like the first time, like one of the prototype of like a Terminator is there that has skin like a human, like it's trying to disguise itself as a human. It's trying to sneak its way into a bunker and fucking wipe everybody out inside, So there are some hints at like the paranoia that causes. I mean, people question who's human and who's a robot. Like, that doesn't like quite get into something like, you know, it's not like the Thing levels of paranoia or like claustrophobia where you just like stuck, you know, it's like stuck in like one place in a bunker and trying to decide like one person's a robot and they can't just like fucking, not quite like that. And I don't think that like the Skynet technology wasn't that advanced anyway. But you know, it's cool. It's cool to see like that whole human, you know, Terminator disguised as humans become a thing. Where it goes from, it's like, you know, it's just the basic, like, we've got to go out and there's fighting this guerrilla war against this fucking enemy that's made of metal and doesn't feel pain, and fucking go out and try to gather supplies when it's safe to try to survive. And, you know, pretty straightforward. Then he goes to like, well, now it's not really clear, like, if what looks like a human is actually a human, where before it's just, again, the simple story of like fucking like, oh, well, humanity has to like band together to fucking do this. Now it's like fucking like, oh, now we don't really know, you know. And again, it's not new. It's not fun. It's definitely like fan servicey a little bit, but it is a Terminator game that's based on a fucking movie from 1984. So you gotta let that one go. Fucking like, oh, dude, it's just fucking nostalgia. It's like, yeah, kind of, but it's fucking, you know, trying to be a game set in this universe that's fucking from this movie from fucking the 80s. And surprisingly, it's not just like a nonstop like shooting gallery or anything. It doesn't follow the beats of the movie either. You know, there's little things that like hint at like, oh yeah, remember this from the fucking movie, you'll hear something like that. Or you know, there's some long story segments where there's no fighting at all. You know, you'll be in one of the bases walking around talking to people, and you can accept side quests, kind of like a Bethesda game, ironically. And the you know, the writing and the voice acting in the game is not bad at all. You know, they wisely keep the number of major characters in the game to like a bare minimum, which makes sense. I know, where it's fucking, it takes place after this apocalypse, like after fucking Judgment Day, so there aren't that many fucking survivors left. So it's not like you're going around like exploring like this big city with like hundreds of people that you're talking to. And you start off the game with, there's maybe a group of like 6 people like holed up in a house or something. It's not like, it's not dissimilar to what would be like a Survivor outpost, or you know, any like small group in a house somewhere, for if it was like a zombie movie or game or something like The Walking Dead or some shit, where it's like, oh, there's little encampments everywhere, kind of similar to that. Only there are the sentient metal skeletons trying to kill you. I think that's what makes the fucking Terminator is so iconic. It is cool. I think like just like their image is still fucking wicked cool. You know, they're skeletons, which you know, skeletons are pretty metal. And they're made of metal, which is also pretty metal. So, you know, everyone you talk to gives you a little bit of like exposition, like background information about what happened, like the war, like how that's going. And then you can also talk to them about like their personal stories. They'll tell you a little bit about themselves. There's like some older lady there who was captured and put into like a concentration camp to do Mengele-like experiments on other prisoners. And at first it seems kind of dumb. Like I thought it was dumb, and again, it's that movie Salvation. That was a big thing of like, oh, dude, these things are gonna come. They snatch people up and don't kill them, but they bring them to like this fucking camp, concentration camp, to keep them alive and all that shit. It seemed kind of retarded. You know, why would machines give a shit about dissecting people? I thought like the most terrifying part of the conflict is like, you know, it's not like fucking like, oh, you know, it's not like some enemy army that's also like human, and you know, they have their own motivations and all that. It's like, no, I thought like the terrifying thing is like, oh no, they're just fucking machines or whatever. You know, they're not. They have like, they're not gonna fucking stop. Like they don't feel pain or remorse. They won't stop until you're dead. Like that whole thing. they're supposed to be terminating people, not like keeping them alive in camps and like, feeding them and all that, whatever they're going to do. And it's like, God, it makes no sense really. But put into like context, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. It's like you have to figure they're trying to figure out how to fucking look convincingly like a human. So sure, I guess. I mean, I guess they'll fucking like take their skin apart and like study it and all that shit. I guess maybe I don't know why they wouldn't have a lot of that information already stored if like the whole thing of Skynet was fucking whatever. It's supposed to be pretty much like the internet. It's like when you guys just have like all the information you could get there already. But whatever. So I mean, sure, whatever. So that character like says something about like a guy being a race trader, a literal fucking race trader, and working for Skynet, and Skynet gave him like food and her as a whore to fuck for helping them out. That might be taking it a little bit too far. Because now they're fucking reasoning and bargaining. The whole thing is like, oh, you can't be reasoned with and blah blah blah. It's like, oh well. They'll also like offer you like whores and shit. It's like fucking like, I don't know, that seems kind of weird, but whatever. Again, then about halfway through the game, the resistance shows up to your camp, and they take you to a military bunker. That's, again, it kind of reminds me of like fucking like zombie movies, where it's fucking like, oh, we have like these little groups of survivors, and like, oh well, there's also like the military, and except in this case, like the military is not. In most zombie movies, like, oh, the military is a bunch of usually a bunch of assholes, and they're fucking just like being like selfish pricks and using their fucking firepower to fucking get control, and like fucking these rogue groups. It's like, no, this is like an actual, like, they're not like a sanctioned military. They're just fucking, it's like, oh, these are like fucking people in the larger context who fucking banded together, and it's like an actual militia almost, So yeah, you go to the military bunker that's more or less like identical to the one from the first film. Where there's fucking homeless looking people who are like cuddled around trash fires, and they have dogs at the entrance to react to infiltrators. So I don't think it's supposed to be the exact place from the movie. It's not like the exact scene plays out from the movie where the fucking Terminator comes in and throws off his fucking hood and starts like blasting people. It's like, all right, similar enough. It's almost like what Alien Isolation did for that game, where it's it's like, hey, here's this ship that's not the Nostromo, but it looks a hell of a lot like the Nostromo. There's a lot of shit in there that will remind you of the Nostromo. It's like, oh, here's the military bunker that's not that one from the movie, but it's gonna it looks the same. Which is a good comparison. I think Terminator Resistance almost does for Terminator what Alien Isolation did for Alien. There is some definite love there for the movie. Like, the people who made it obviously fucking went through the movie and picked out images and all this shit. It's fucking, they wanted to recreate. And yeah, I mean, they really get the look and the feel and the sounds down. And I think if they had a higher budget, a little more time and talent, maybe, like, it's could have easily been like pointed at as like it's like, oh, this is like the definitive Terminator fucking game. Like fucking Alien Isolation now, that's like considered like a classic, almost like a horror classic, or, and the way to do, fucking movie licensed games. Like, fucking, like, this is, and it's the new, like, standard for that. That's a fucking, that's the go-to example of how to do this shit right. But as it stands, back to Terminator Resistance again, I like it. It's fucking, it's like the graphics in it in Terminator Resistance are fine. I think it looks really good in some places. Like, the explosions look great, and fucking robots look like robots. The fucking, even like the human characters, and it's like, oh, this, they're not, it's not the best looking fucking human character I've ever seen, but it's fucking, they're decent. Some of the environments are kind of bland and simple. They a lot of reused objects and fucking layouts of like buildings and shit. It's like, guys, it's kind of like the same shit they were using, just kind of mixing it up a little bit. But fucking lacking in some detail in some areas and shit. They try to like compensate for that, for the graphics. They're not bad, but they're not like, it's not like fucking gonna blow you away. I think it's pretty sure it's just Unreal 4 engine, which those games are just fucking, you just look at it and it's like, yeah, what I mean. I've never seen an Unreal 4 game that looks fucking incredible. So yeah, I mean, what they do is they use like a heavy film grain effect over the whole thing that makes it look like you're looking through like a filthy smudged camera lens the whole time, which I like. I actually do like that effect. I like fucking film grain and shit, but I'm also not going to pretend that it's not there to like mask some shit. There's also heavy use of like fog and smoke at night, which again, it's like it's a good fog effect they're using, but it's there for a reason. Obviously, it's not like fucking. It's like, hey, we didn't just do like a clear night because you know what I mean. It's fucking. It would look fucking pretty bland. So the story in the game is you're a soldier who's on Skynet's list of targets that are prioritized for termination, and you're just below John Connor on the list. And obviously spoilers because you know if you beat the game, the end of the game, you fucking stop Skynet temporarily, probably in one possible future anyway, because fucking time travel bullshit or whatever, which, you know, lets them fucking like retcon whatever the fuck they want. But, you know, what I like is that they keep the story and the dialogue in there. It's like snappy and to the point. Most of it's just through optional conversations and side quests and shit. And there's only like a handful of them anyway. If it's like fucking, if you want to do all the side quests, it's like just one little thing that's going to take you off the beaten path for 15 minutes just to go fucking like grab something from a house over here somewhere, and then fucking next time you return to a base, you just talk to whoever it was. It's like, oh, here's a little thing for that. But because they're so like sparse, you know what I mean, that they're meaningful, and you want to do them, like you want to hear what the characters have to say, because it's not just fucking just like run. You can just go mission to mission. It's like, all right, I want to take a break and for a little bit and get a little bit of a story in here in between shooting robots. It's not like fucking Disco Elysium where the game is exposition and listening to fucking every character you meet's fucking life story. It's fucking, it's like, oh, it's a little reward to fucking like go back and like get some story and talk to somebody. It's not just fucking like, all right, you're going to be sitting here for hours listening and then nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean? Plus you get to fuck two broads in the span of like a 12-hour game, and some pretty awkward and hilarious first person cutscenes that look like fucking they're from those ads on the fucking banners of Pornhub. Look slightly better because of the film grain effect, I will say that. When you go out into the war zone, you start like shooting metal skeletons. It's kind of like a complete mashup of every genre they could throw in there. You know, it's fucking, it's like, all right, well, it's a shooter. I mean, you're mainly shooting shit. Which I think the shooting is so-so. It's just pretty much point, shoot something, take cover, you know, while fucking the machines just shoot back at you and occasionally walk towards you or, you know, float towards you if they're drones or whatever. You can't complain about the AI being robotic, really, because they're robots. I mean, that's what they do. Then there's like stealth sections in there, so like some spots like you absolutely need to sneak around because you don't have any weapons that can damage the exoskeletons yet, like early on in the game, or that there's like, you know, there'll be these turrets around that will fucking murder you in like half a second if they spot you. So it's like, I gotta like sneak around, try to get behind it and hack it. That's, you know, they have a little mini game that's pretty much like Frogger. You're trying to get to the other end of the fucking hacking thing, and you fucking, it's like, all right, you hack it. Now that the turrets are on your side and they're friendly, and it's like, oh, it's like sometimes like that's the best way to fucking take care of the fucking Terminators. You have like shitty weapons at the beginning. Which will, I mean, fucking the stealth in the game is also surprisingly it's okay. It's like, oh, this isn't bad. It's pretty good. You know, you can toggle like an ultra vision mode, they call it, to let you like see through walls. You know, there's also like a mini radar. You can see like enemy, like which way they're facing, and if you start to get spotted, there's like an indicator will pop up So, like when you're going to, like when it fills up to red and it's fucking like, oh, they spotted me. Now you have to fight or like run away or whatever. Try to find cover. It's not like an instant alert or fucking instant death or anything like that. Like they give you time to be like, okay, I get spotted. I got to like duck down or get away or hide, whatever you're going to do. It's just pretty clear. It usually fucking works like the way you would think it would. Unlike stealth sections in most shooters that are usually fucking like broken as hell and you dread them. There's fucking like, oh, instant fucking fail or whatever. It's like, no, you can play around a little bit in here. Works all right. So it's kind of pretty fun. There's actually some good moments like early on. I think it's the first time they introduced the T-800s in the game. Which like, well, you only have pistols and like Uzis and shit at that point, which, if you try shooting at them, the fucking bullets just fucking bounce off of them. Like you can't, there's no way to like kill them with like standard weapons. So they have you like hiding behind cars and dumpsters and shit, and they keep like dropping groups of them, like the fucking hunter killers or whatever, the transport ships just start like dropping off, like squads of the fucking T-800s, and you have to like sit there and hide and wait for patrols to pass by. So they'll fucking like walk right by you and shit. You're just kind of like ducking down, hiding behind a car and shit. And you can see him. You toggle that vision mode to see him. You see like these fucking like glowing green fucking like skeleton robots like fucking like coming towards you. It's pretty creepy. I mean, it's pretty tense. It makes fucking Skynet scary again. They could have made like the majority of the game like that, and almost gone like the Alien Isolation route, made it like more of like a horror game, where it'd be like or a survival game, where it'd be like a big deal to kill one of them, like a drawn out fight that you would have to do to take down one of the robots, but they're really hard to kill at the beginning. Like, even when you first get like your first like laser rifles and shit that will do damage. It's like, oh, these guys still take a long time to fucking kill. But as you play, you're earning XP and you're increasing the damage that you do through fucking like skill points and shit. And you get these fucking like plasma rifles, and by the end it's just like a couple hits to the head and they just explode like a fucking nuke went off. Like it's like no deal at all to kill like big groups of them. I mean, they do add tougher enemies in, like those fucking tanks. Those big tanks are in there, and the drones, the hunter killers, and all that shit. But the power curve, like how difficult it is, again, like difficulty settings, like difficulty spikes, I think it's pretty fucked up and kind of inconsistent. Like in some cases, you can fight the same enemy type, but it's like, all right, well, here's like one of those, the tanks that can only kill it by shooting a rocket. You gotta shoot a rocket in its face, and it loses track of you. Then you go behind it and you shoot its fucking back, the weak spot in its back, like 5 times. Like it's gonna take like forever to fucking kill the thing, because it's a boss. But it's like, well, that's how it is in a boss fight. You know what I mean? Or it's fucking like the T-800. It's like, well, this one's one of the ones with the skin on, like the infiltrators. And the T-800 is like, oh, this big boss fight. You're fucking chasing them through this fucking, out of the base and through the fucking city and shit. And, you're like trapped in a room. You're sitting there like shooting them and taking cover, and he's chasing you. And, it takes a while. And it's fucking, oh, hey, there's another fucking infiltrator. It's like, oh, 5 headshots. The thing just fucking explodes. It's like, what the fuck? It's like all different, all over the place. Sometimes you can just, it's like, oh, this game's so easy. It seems like you can just stand out in the open and just like eat bullets for fucking breakfast, and like nothing's gonna happen. It's like, I can just take a bunch of damage and just fucking take my time, like picking shit off. Then like the next second you'll hit a level where it's like, all right, well, now they kind of want you to sneak past these fucking whatever T-800s or whatever different enemies, and it's like, well, I don't have to do that anymore because I was just fucking murdering him like it's fucking nothing, and fucking I dumped all my skill points into damage and defense. I'm kind of past the point of even trying to play stealthy now. And I fucking swear there was this one section I had to replay like 20 times because from previous encounters, it's like, I should have been able to just fucking run right through a handful of fucking the fucking T-800s, no problem. But it's just like, oh, this particular level, like as soon as they spotted me, they'd turn around and get like a shot or two on me, and it's like, oh, I'm almost dead. Like after like a couple shots, like, what the fuck, dude? I'm fucking just about fucking dead. Then like by the time I even tried to take cover to like use a med pack, it's like, oh, now they're up my ass. And it's like if they touch you, like it's pretty much like they have like almost a one hit melee kill. If you let them get close, then you're pretty fucked. It's like this level, you're like inside a house, so it's, it's backed up into a corner, and it's fucking, again, like at that point, it's like, oh, it's kind of like a horror game. Like these guys are pretty brutal, but again, if the whole game was like that, I'm like, oh, this is cool. But it's like, well, 5 seconds ago, I was just fucking like murdering. It's like armies of these guys, no problem. Now they're like impossible. Now they're like the fucking alien in fucking isolation, Plus, I kept blowing myself up with grenades, because the grenades have about a half-mile wide fucking radius, and every now and then your robot killing super soldier you're playing as just throws like a Mary for no reason. So it's like fucking trying to peg one down the hallway, and then it's fucking like right at my feet and fucking blows up. It's like, cool, dude. I've been fucking like inch by inch, I've been going like so slow. Trying to progress, and like, I get 15 minutes in, and it's like, oh, cool, there's no checkpoint. I gotta fucking like go all the way back to the beginning. There's a couple spots where the difficulty spike. Like the save points in some of the levels, there are like checkpoints, and it's like you'll find a place like, oh, this is a base. Like a mini little hideout somewhere in like a suburb. It's like, oh, you go to like a garage, there's like a computer there. It's like, you want to save your game, you save your game. Then if you would die, you would start back there, which is cool, but it's like, it works sometimes. Like, again, it's like the consistency thing where it's fucking like, it would be cool if it was like this game about going out and, doing guerrilla warfare shit, and like, all right, this place I got to be careful and save it. Almost like bonfires from Dark Souls a little bit. Like that'd be fucking like cool, but it's fucking like, sometimes, but then sometimes just fucking like there's a checkpoint, and you just have like this huge stretch you have to get through. You have no save point, no nothing. So yeah, the difficulty spikes. It can be like crazy and really fucking frustrating. Like 90% of the time, I thought the game was fairly easy. It's like, maybe I should have bumped the difficulty up to hard, because I wasn't really in any danger of dying for like half of the game. Like, this is pretty fucking easy shit. Then I'd fight like this 3-story tall fucking robot for 10 minutes, and it's like, it's still pretty easy. I just fucking hide behind a wall. The stupid thing can't fucking hit me. Just pop out, and if it gets me with a laser or whatever, I'll back out and heal up, and it's like, whatever. I can sit there and do this shit all day. Then it just shoots rockets out of his back for no reason, like out of nowhere. I was like, I've been doing the same shit for 10 minutes, didn't fucking shoot rockets at me, but now it just randomly does. And then it's fucking like, oh, yeah, the rockets come, and I can't avoid them. I can't, like, there's no way I have time to run anywhere and fucking hide. Like, oh, rockets fucking hit you. It's like this huge fucking radius where it fucking hits, and, fucking instant death pretty much. So it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, fuck you, Skynet. Like, it just fucking randomly just fucking got incredibly hard. So yeah, it's like, I think Terminator Resistance, like, it's so close to being this awesome, like gritty survival game. Almost like it'd be like a Far Cry, like Terminator Far Cry or something like that. And yeah, I know, fucking Far Cry, Terminator, blah blah blah. Fucking Blood Dragon, Michael Biehn did a voice, all that shit. That happened. I wasn't the biggest fan of that game. Yeah, Terminator Resistance again. I think it's good. I liked most of it, but yeah, there's definitely a few parts where, I wish there was a little bit more polish, a few more times through the fucking play testing circuit. So maybe I wouldn't get caught up on like geometry and like crouching down near a rock and like, oh cool, I can't stand up or move, and now I can like reload the checkpoint, I guess, because I'm stuck here. Like shit like that happened a few times. Or if just like shit like, if they gave you a reason to hold on to like the weaker weapons, it's like, it's a guy, if it got a shotgun that's pretty cool to use, but there's no reason to fucking use it. You know what I mean? It's fucking, once you get like the plasma weapons, like, why would I ever go back to like using a pistol or an Uzi? It's like, this shit doesn't do any damage to anything. So, they just did more like, well, this enemies weak to this or whatever, added some kind of enemy that's fucking weak to regular bullets, but just fucking, it's like, no, you get plasma rifles that are upgraded, and you get like these chips you put in it to do even more damage than it already does, and all that shit. It's like, well, that's your best weapon, so that's like all you're ever going to use. Or they have like sniper rifles and like rail guns and shit. It was fucking just like this. At no point was that like, well, oh, here's some part where you get a snipe. It's like, no, it's pretty much just fucking like medium range. Like everything's kind of the same shit. So yeah, it's like shit like that. It could have been like tweaked and just made it more interesting, more interesting to fucking like shoot. You know what I mean? To do the shooting, and but it's not. But it's so yeah. But it is probably the best Terminator game I've ever played. Best Terminator anything I've seen since fucking T2 probably. And plus there's no forced CGI Arnold cameos. So that's good. So yeah, I was surprised. It pulled me off of MechWarrior and Call of Duty for a few days, and now I beat it and I'm back to those two games. So, you know, I'll be back next week, probably with another live stream episode of one of those two games. I don't know what else am I going to do. I'll make sure the game audio is so loud that you can barely hear me half the time, which, you know, is probably in everybody's best interest. There's no rape except the one we rape ourselves, as the saying goes. Gruntfreepress.com, podcast@gruntfreepress.com is the email address. I'm absolute deicide, and I think I'm going to go back in time and talk myself out of getting into this podcasting business. Think of the time I'll save.
All right, listen. The Terminator's an infiltration unit. Part man, part machine. Underneath, it's a hyper-alloy combat chassis. Microprocessor controlled. Fully armored. Very tough. But outside, it's living human tissue. Flesh, skin, hair, blood, grown for the cyborgs.
Look, Reese, I don't know what you want.
Pay attention! I gotta ditch this car. The 600 series had rubber skin. We spotted them easy. But these are new. They look human. Sweat, bad breath, everything. Very hard to spot. I had to wait till he moved on you before I could zero him.
Look, I am not stupid, you know. They cannot make things like that yet.
Not yet. Not for about 40 years.
Are you saying it's from the future?
One possible future. From your point of view, I don't know tech stuff.
Then you're from the future too, is that right?
Right.
Right.
Cyborgs don't feel pain. I do. Don't do that again.
Just let me go.
Listen and understand that Terminator is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead.